So, I'm Camille. This is going to be my first YouTube video. I am only 16 years old, but I've been doing makeup for a while. Um, I just, really got into it, and a lot of people actually told me to make a YouTube channel. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a good amount of people that were like, oh my god, you shouldn't do it. Your makeup's not even good. You know? But despite those people that are against it, I wanted to do it anyways. So hopefully you guys like the video. This is my November Thanksgiving-ish look, even though this will not be posted on Thanksgiving or before. So yeah, I really hope that you guys will keep watching if you do, and I hope that you like it. So let's get into it. First off, I'm just going to start off by priming my face. I'm just going to be using my MAC Prep and Prime. And the good thing about the spray is it smells so good and it really re-energizes your face too. I'm just going to be applying some chapstick or lip balm next, whatever works for you. This is important too if you're wearing a matte lipstick, which I usually do. You want to make sure your lips don't get dry throughout the day. So after I'm done priming, I'm going to be going in with my foundation. I'm just going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Golden. This was my summer color as well. I am not that shade anymore. I need to go buy a new one. But I'm just going to be using a flat brush for this and just pat it on my face and then buff it out. You want to make sure that you bring it down to your neck too, so there's no harsh lines, that it blends evenly with your skin. I am going to go over top with my beauty blender. There's no product on that. I'm just blending it some more and patting it some more so that there's no patches. So after you're done putting on your foundation, then you can go with your eyebrows. I'm just going to start off by brushing my eyebrows with a pattern that goes up and then to the side to make sure you get your natural shape. I'm going to be using a angled brush for this, one that you would use for eyeliner too. It works really good for your eyebrows. I'm going to start off by just going with the natural curve of my eyebrows, with the bottom doing the outline and then filling it in. Now this is when you would go in with your concealer. I don't really have concealer, but I've been using the e.l.f. BB cream in the shade Fair for quite some time now, and it works just the same. So you want to carve out your eyebrows next. I'm going to start with the bottom and then blend it down to my eyelid. If you don't have a primer for your eyeshadow, concealer or BB cream works just as well too. I am going to be putting some concealer or BB cream on the top as well, just to make sure that everything is perfectly carved out. So when you're putting the concealer on the top of your eyebrows, that's when you're also going to want to start to contour or begin to highlight. So I'm just putting it on the center of my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and then where I would highlight normally with the top of my cheekbones. And then after you're done with that, you could just blend it out. You don't really need to let it sit for so long. I also felt that I might have concealed a little bit of that I didn't want necessarily to be concealed on my eyebrows. I'm just going back in to get that shape. Next, I'm just going to be priming using the Too Faced eyeshadow primer, and then just applying it with my finger onto my eyelids, wherever you would put your eyeshadow. So for the majority of the look today, I'm going to be predominantly using the Morphe 35OS palette. And to start off, I'm just going to be taking an angled eyeshadow brush and using my Venus palette, or you can use a similar color. I'm going to be going in with the color Divine, just so that it makes blending easier. Then with a flatter brush and a darker shade, I'm going to start by putting that in the lower part of my eyelid and then kind of making a crease with it and then blending it down and then up so there's no harsh lines. You can continue to build up, or if you have a darker brown, I'm going to be taking the color Icon from the Venus palette as well and just putting that on the lower part of my outer eyelid so that it creates depth. And then taking this dark bronze shade, I'm going to be putting that near the darker colors so it's easier to blend. and so that it creates a little bit more, again, a little bit more depth. And then I'm going to be taking this lighter copper color, putting that all over the lid and my inner lid of my eye. And then I'm going to be going in with the darker brown color again, just to make sure that it wasn't so overpowering. Here I realized I went a little too far up, so I'm just going in with my concealer and then blending it upwards again so that it's not all up on my eyebrow. And taking a thinner brush, I'm going to be going in with that dark orange copper shade and taking it right down the center of my eyelid, and then I'm going to just blend that out. Taking a small concentrated brush, I'm then going to be using the brightest orange shade, and I'm going to be putting that on my lower lash line. So next, using a lighter shade, a lighter pink shade, I'm going to be highlighting my inner corners. This step, if you wanted to use a darker color, maybe one that wasn't as intense, that's fine too. I really like a bright inner corner, so I was using this color. So this step is optional, but for me, I feel like a look is not completed unless I have eyeliner. So I'm going to be using the Too Faced sketch marker eyeliner in black. I don't normally do my eyeliner like this. Usually I'll start from the inner corner and then go to the outside, but this works as well. So notice that when I connect it, I don't connect it right from the tip. That's to ensure that the point remains sharp. So I always make sure to clean it up, so I'm just going to be going back in with that concealer in a flat brush. You can also go in with a regular concealer brush. I just like the flat brush because it's easier to make sure that it remains sharp. So going in with the shade Aura from the Venus palette, I'm just going to be highlighting my eyebrow arch. So going a little before your eyebrow fully arches and then all the way to the end, I'm just going to be highlighting that portion. You don't want to highlight the front part of your eyebrow because that is used for contouring. So now that I'm done with my eyeshadow, I'm going to be contouring using my Too Faced bronzer and Sweet Tea and taking a dense bronzer contouring brush. And I'm going to start from the base of my cheekbones. So if you don't really have a defined cheekbone, you can start from the top of your ear and work your way down and then make a little like kissy face so that it's more defined. I'm then going to be blending it up. Don't blend it down because you want to make sure that line remains cut. And I'm going to be blending it up and then to the side and around my forehead. If you feel like you have a bigger forehead, you can contour all around. I feel like my forehead isn't that big, so I don't really have that problem. So I'm just going to be contouring up until the middle of my forehead. Taking a thin, flat, and small brush, I'm going to be going in with a lighter color and contouring my nose. So I'm just going to be taking the sides of my nose and going up to where my eyebrow starts with it. So I'm going to be taking the front button part of my nose and just making a circle all around that so that it pops out more. So using the same shade that I used to contour my nose, I'm going to be taking almost like a thicker brush, not as dense, densely packed, and I'm going to be contouring my chin, and starting from the sides of my chin, I'm working my way to the middle. You can also use a faster motion for this, whatever works for you. And I'm also just going to contour my chin very slightly. Next, using my N7 translucent powder, I'm going to be baking my face. Then using a powder brush, I'm going to be picking up some product, and I'm going to start from below my cheek so that this portion gets the most concentrated on and gets left on longer. Usually I would use a beauty blender, which I would really recommend using a beauty blender compared to a powder brush, because with this the product will get everywhere. So after I applied the product below where my contouring starts, I'm also going to apply it above. I'm going to apply it down the bridge of my nose to my forehead, my chin, and below my chin. So you're going to want to leave that bake on for about 3 to 5 minutes. I usually listen to music while I do it, so it's about the duration of a song or two. Next, I'm going to be putting on my mascara. You can also apply your falsies during this time, since it'll give you something to do. Also, can I just say that this mascara from Tarte, the Tarteist mascara, is by far the best mascara I have ever used. I really recommend buying it. It is on the pricier side, but it is worth it if you have that money. And using the tip of the applicator as well as some of the side, I'm going to be applying it to my lower lashes too. So once you're done listening to your songs and you're done applying your falsies and your mascara, you can brush it away, starting from the portions that you would have highlighted already. So I'm going to be brushing away my forehead, my nose, and then the top of my cheekbones as well first. So then after that, you can move on to brushing away the front of your chin and below where you contoured on your chin. And then here you're taking the side that had the powder on it for longer, and you start by patting it away. You brush it up into where your actual contour was, so the lines are not as harsh. And then I would brush it all over as well. So after contouring and baking, I'm going to be applying blush using my Milani blush in the shade 02 Rose Doro, using an angled blush brush. And then I'm going to just be applying it more towards like the apples of my cheeks so that it gives me a really full look. I am then going to be taking my powder brush again, using the tiniest amount of product and going over that just so it's not as harsh. Then for my favorite part, I'm going to be highlighting with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. I'm going to be taking a fan brush. You don't have to use as big of a fan brush. I'm just going to be using this because I don't have a smaller blush brush. I'm going to be starting off with the shade Tourmaline. I'm going to be using that as a base and then going over top of it with Moonstone and Summer. Never mind, I'm thinking out loud before we draw a crowd, reel it in. So I'm also going to be highlighting the tip of my nose as well and my cupid's bow, and then after that I'm going to be taking it up and doing the bridge of my nose and my forehead using a very light hand since I don't want it to be too shimmery and overpowering. I'm also going to be highlighting on the sides of my forehead. So with my Lime Crime matte liquid lipsticks, I'm going to be taking the shade Teddy Bear and applying that to the outside of my lips, and then taking the shade Cashmere and applying that to the inside to give it a ombre and concentrated look, making my lips look a little bit more full. I I did go back in and highlight my cupid's bow with Aura again just because I really like a shiny cupid's bow. So yeah, and the tip of my nose apparently. So the last step would be to use your setting spray. I didn't use any since I was just going to be at home and it was only going to be on for a couple hours. So this is the completed look. I really hope that you guys like the video. If you want to see me continue to make videos, or if you have any suggestions on how to get better as a YouTuber or anything like that, please comment down below. I want to hear everything that everyone has to say. Unless you're going to say something mean, in that case, don't say anything at all. So thank you for watching if you watched the whole thing. Hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one.